In this video, I am going to be talking about how I built my online business and retired at 27. Here are the steps so you can too. Before I get into it, make sure that you actually read that disclaimer. Step 1, way in the beginning, when I first started out, I did a lot of 5 a.m. mornings and 9 p.m. night. And this was not just the length of my day where I was like chilling, hanging out, taking breaks. No, I was working from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. just grinding. The only breaks I took was to quickly eat something very fast, maybe take a shower. Didn't even go for walks outside at that point, I think. Like my family was concerned about me because I wasn't leaving the house. I was just working. I time blocked everything. I was so hyper productive. I was following my body schedule. I knew that I was the most optimized and productive when I woke up in the morning early and just started working. So honestly, I really did that. At that time, I'm going to pair some of these times in my life and these steps with books that I read. At that time, I had just started reading nonfiction books and I went in with a classic. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad at that time, and then I read the whole series. Then I went into phase 2. I'm going to alternate between calling these phases and steps. Phase 2, which was investing in a high ticket course that taught me how to get my first couple high paying clients. So I actually paid for an online course first time that I did that. It was so scary to me. It was before the time where people were doing this mainstream. So I was like kind of crazy that I just gave this random dude in Australia like thousands of dollars, but I did it and I went through the course for 3.5 months and it did teach me how to get my first couple high paying clients at the time. 4 months after investing into the course, I moved on to step 3, which was repeating what I knew what worked to actually get me more high paying clients. So I basically did what was in the course over the span of more time, and this led me to increasing my income. At some point, I moved on to step 4, which was realizing that I no longer wanted to do what I was doing because there was kind of a cap in terms of the amount I could work and the amount I could make, and rather I wanted to transition into what my teacher was teaching me, what Sean Ferris, the person that I had bought the online course from, was teaching me. So I actually wanted to become a coach, a course creator myself. There was a lot of income and impact to be made there. So this is what led me to step 5, which was when I invested in a second online course, which was a course that taught me how to start an online course and coaching program of my own. So this led me to, of course, step 6, where I spent 3.5 months building out my course. What that looked like is creating a full course framework. My course, by the way, if you don't know, is still running. It's for people who are freelancing in the digital marketing space, who want to scale their business from freelancing to more of a passive income agency structure, which is what I had done as well myself. So that's why I taught on it. It took me 3.5 months to go through this course, create a framework for my course, and then actually sell it before I made the whole course. That is key. That's what I teach my students too. 3.5 months, I found people to sell it to, and I made this course so good because I literally did hundreds and hundreds of hours of interviews with people who were freelancing, asking them questions, identifying their pain points, identifying the things they needed to learn, because I had done it, but a lot of people who were in the same position as a freelancer didn't do it. So I really needed to gather that data to see what was missing. And once I identified that, that's how I built up my course. And I spent 3.5 months teaching it, getting paid to teach it, and then I had a course. During this time, I actually didn't write this one down, but I do have a second course. At some point within all of this, I created the second course, which is specifically for people trying to start online courses of their own. Still have that running as well. Then we move on to a completely different phase. Phase 7, step 7, which is one where I hit a wall, okay? Throughout all the past steps that I was talking about, I was still doing those 5 a.m.s to 9 p.m.s. I was barely seeing my friends. I would see them, very minimally. And when I did, I would schedule it in far in advance and make sure I only spent my allotted time there. I wasn't giving myself, honestly, anything else. I was working out. I always prioritize that, but always at a strict time and only when it made sense to my work schedule. So in phase 7, honestly, what happened is I got a stomach virus one day, completely wiped me out. I was so dehydrated just on the couch. I had to go to the hospital. They had to give me an IV, revive me, and then I spent 5 days in my mom's bed just getting babied and not touching my computer, and it was awesome. I just chilled, did nothing, laid there, like literally couldn't do anything, just laid there. My mom would feed me, we would watch movies on the couch and cuddle, and that is when I realized if I don't do anything in my business, or I just stop studying, working, reading, etc., life still goes on. Everything is fine for me and everything is fine for other people, and I'm just putting unnecessary stress on myself. So that was my first major learning lesson in life and in the business, to just slow down. The hustle period is over. Not gonna lie though, even though I'm not a proponent of hustle culture, when I was in my hustle phase, I look back and I'm happy that happened, because I did produce a lot of work, which is benefiting me. So what happened in phase 7 led me to step 8, which is the phase where I started to continue to sell, take it a little slower, but continue to sell, but make more money through increasing my prices and also integrating some one-to-one coaching, which was more expensive. Phase 9 is where I started to hire staff to do a lot of things for me. I started automating things, and I pretty much only retained coaching, and then sometimes I would sell as well, which was like very simple. Everything else outsourced. Step 10 was when I started to do things with the money that I was making. That was pretty significant. So I do want to say, like, in the first few years of my business, although I was making like good money, especially for a business that just started out, all that money was spent, and it was spent on my education. I was also going through law school and putting myself through law school at the time, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars, which is very nice. I didn't need to go into debt, but that was a major investment from my business. And step 10 was where I was like, okay, I'm out of law school, now I can have some money. I started saving and I started making it from the business, and that's when I started investing specifically in stocks and real estate. This is obviously an amazing situation, because it allowed me to get income even more passively. At this point, I actually revisited Rich Dad Poor Dad number 2. That really helped me in terms of understanding where my money should go. So that was a really good book to read. Then also throughout this whole journey, I was reading a lot of nonfiction books, like over 100, and I would recommend people to read as well, that many. I also want to mention one of the books that I was reading right at the beginning of my journey, which was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. A great book. I think a lot of people know it. It's a classic. Definitely helped me in imagining and creating the world and the business that I wanted. Step 11, which came after step 9 of hiring staff, step 10 of creating income more passively through investments, and then we get step 11, which is all of a sudden I have some more free time. So what I'm spending my time doing now at this point was reading, educating myself, putting myself in creative spaces to have new ideas, enjoying my life, spending time how I want. So that's where my time started transitioning. And then we get into step 12. Like, this point was, I'm gonna say, like a year or 2 years ago, where I started to find more of a work-life balance, like even more than I did when I hit that wall years and years ago. And then recently, I'm transitioning to this space in phase 13, where I'm transitioning out of a work-life balance and into just life. And work in quotation marks is a piece of that life, but it doesn't need to be balanced, because it's just life. My life is amazing and I can just live it exactly how I want it to be, and work can be a small piece of that. So that is an interesting transition. I would say I'm kind of in that phase right now. And where I am now is step 14. So I still have my coaching programs. I'm super passionate about them. I run them. If you're interested in either of them, definitely shoot me an email. I'll put my link in the description. But I'm just looking to maintain them. I'm not looking to build like a huge revenue off of them anymore. I do love helping people through them, so that's why I maintain them, but I am just focusing on reading a lot, doing things I'm very interested in and passionate about. I have a couple exciting business ventures on the side. I get inspired through reading. Just recently I read a book called The $1 Million Weekend. You might have heard of it. It is really good. I actually have a book summary to that I made on YouTube. That's one of my best videos in my opinion. You should definitely check that out if you haven't yet. And yeah, just pursuing new passions and doing really whatever interests me, as well as I have started a new course. A absolutely brand new course, and it is for small YouTubers or people who are aspiring YouTubers who want to create somewhat of an agency. I use the word agency lightly here, but an agency structure with their YouTube, where even if they have like 4,000, 3,000, 2,000 subscribers, they are making money from those subscribers, and they have an audience that's really, really loyal to them, as well as they've made YouTube a system so that they have that lifestyle freedom and they're making significant income and monetizing their audience, even though it is such a small audience. So that is a brand new course that I'm working on. I'm actually taking on only 8 students for my first cohort to run them through my first thing at an extremely discounted rate. So if you are potentially interested, link in the description, all the details down there. You should definitely apply. I'm doing like individual interviews just to make sure you're a good fit, make sure I want to work with you, make sure our goals are in alignment. And anyways, if this in some way resonates with you, any of this, book that call, because I would love to meet you at least. So anyways, these are all the steps. If you made it to this point in the video, comment a camera emoji down below so I can know that you are a real one, and I would love to meet you. So click that link in the description. Also check out this video if you haven't. If you watch this one all this time, you'll definitely like this video. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed this one. Have a great day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You are amazing. You are beautiful. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.